welcome to the shop. So we did a group ride at Landegla. It was a bit of a shitty day and I took my stump jumper, which is this bike here. I felt really deflated. One reason was that the trail wasn't that good, the new red trail. I didn't really like it that much. And the other reason was it kept blowing through my travel to the point where I blew through my travel coming off the boardwalk on B line. Bottomed out and pinch flatted my rear wheel, which really pissed me off because I got a puncture. So I've decided to do something a little bit radical. I've decided to try a coil shock. Now it looks pretty cool, but you'll have to excuse me. The spring hasn't turned up at the same time as the shock itself. So I'm waiting on the spring. So as soon as I get the spring, we'll fit it, we'll get out on a ride straight away. Morning guys, I'm really excited to go and test this bike now. I was going to go to the Forest of Dean, but Tuesday is my only day off from the shop and I want to spend it with the missus a little bit. So I'm going to spend 2 hours up at Clent and then I'm going to go for something really nice to eat after. So I'm going to break it up in a few different areas. So generally how a coil shock feels against an air shock, which I've not long taken off. Pedal efficiency, uphills and the downhills. And try and give you guys the best indication of what the difference of a coil shock is compared to an air shock. So I might as well do pedal efficiency first. So this is the boring bit on the way to Clent. It's the Roman road, nothing really spectacular here. And I've got to be honest, pedal efficiency feels good, but I can never really judge unless I'm riding with somebody else. For example, Benlar, he's an absolute goat and he's a wicked pace setter. So I really never know how my bike's feeling or how I'm feeling unless I'm tailing Ben. But if I have to say on a solo ride, pretty good. So here we are. I'm going to break it up. I'm going to do tight and twisted, which is a favourite. Then I'm going to do the climb up the side of Hagley Hall. It's a bit of a rooty climb, so I'm going to test the coil there. And then I'm going to do Deepwood. And then I'm going to come back and do enduro. And this should give the coil shock the best possible test. Okay, into the first little bit. Tight and twisty. Haven't done it in a while. I've noticed you haven't been up here since we had that really heavy rain a few weeks ago. So this could actually be a little bit washed out. But we'll see. If I'm ever going to crash, it's going to be on this bit because I'm always overconfident on it. Wow, that feels really nice. Always crash on this corner here. There you go. Wow. That felt awesome. So the Bomber CR shock is the cheapest shock out there that's any good. People may be aware or may not be aware. Fox on Marzocchi now. So essentially you got a Fox shock on there. Now the difference is there aren't as many settings. High and low speed compression, high and low speed rebound. Haven't got any of that to mess with. But I could have had one of those shocks. But I hate fiddling with settings. I like the idea of putting it on and riding it. And all I've done, I've knocked the compression wide open, 3 or 4 clicks of rebound just to slow it down so I don't get bucked over kicky jumps, and away we go. Here we are, first downhill, well first real downhill, Adams Hill downhill, which is the only dedicated downhill track in Clent. The other ones are unofficial, which I'm not going to show you. But here's the shock. So low speed compression, so that is all the way off. What I'm going to do, you've got your rebound here, just going to slow the rebound up just a touch. When you're looking for your shock, do a lot of research. I did a lot of research and I rang the suspension specialist companies that I deal with the shop, both of which said Marzocchi, if you have it on the stump jumper, it voids the warranty. The reason for that is the yoke here, there's a weakness, and all this compression on this yoke, it's a little bit of a weakness, and they've had some comeback. But then I looked on I did a bit of research myself, went on all the forums, I spent a good couple of 3 hours on there, couldn't find anything. Even on the Marzocchi website I couldn't find anything. But I'm not a downhill rider, I'm an aggressive trail rider that does a few smaller jumps and a few smaller drops. I wouldn't dare do anything crazy that would put the bike in jeopardy of breaking or anything like that. But I'm going to put you on Chesterkill again. I'm going to hit Dark Pool, Deep Pool, Dartwood, Adams Hill Downhill, one of the many names. I'm going to hit that trail, and the trail that's the most popular one, which is the middle one off the little drop. Let's see how this goes. Oh, I'm also going to let voiceover Gazlar talk through this bit so I can concentrate. Thank you, Gazlar. Right, I've put a timer in the corner just for a little bit of information, but you can already see I've taken the wrong line, which is normally the case when I haven't ridden the trail for a while. But I'm not in attack mode today. The object of today's little exercise is to test the coil out. So I'm just following the flow of the trail in a kind of natural speed, not braking a lot, but I'm not pedalling either. Oh, for f***ing sake. This is what really f***s me off about the bunch of t***s that think, oh, there's a mountain bike trail here, but you're just going to walk up it, no problem at all. You've got the whole of Clent, we've only got the one place we can actually ride. Stay the f*** off the f***ing trails. But anyway, rant over. It's not all about the walkers trying to grab attention, it's all about this core shock on the back of the bike. I have to say, it was absolutely incredible, and again, I'm not in attack mode, but I'm really enjoying the trail, and I haven't enjoyed Dark Pool, Deep Wood, wherever you call this trail, as much as this in a very, very long time. The coil shock just ironed all the chunder out, it was amazing. Okay, so I am 17 seconds off my personal best, but it didn't matter, loved every second of it. Absolute game changer, that was amazing. Albeit I haven't ridden it in a long time, so I was a bit skittish on a couple of the corners. My God, that made the difference downhill. And every time anyone with a coil said to me, oh, I was about to get a coil, I was like, ah, shut up. You know, you're only saying that because you've got one. No, really, 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 hand on heart, 80% better than the air shock downhill. Oh, so good, so good. I love Dark Pool as a downhill trail. It's absolutely amazing. The only bad thing about it is the climb back up to the top. And you can kind of see why a lot of the guys over Clent that ride Clent a lot have actually opted for the e-bikes now. So I just want to apologise about my rant about the walker going up the trail. But 2 years ago, Clent was an absolute maze of trails that we could use as mountain bikers that were actually away from the main pedestrian paths. For some unknown reason, the National Trust have closed them all off and logged them and thrown logs over, so we can't do it. So we've only really got the one trail now. So it does gripe me when we see a walker, when the trail is basically signed at the top to say it's a mountain bike trail, and there's a sign at the bottom to say it's one way and a mountain bike trail. Please, please walkers, stop using the trail as a walking route. Okay, the walkers have had far too much attention, let's get back to this shop. So I've gone over all the characteristics of the shop, uphill, downhill, pedalling platform, and we can all agree after watching this video, it's pretty bloody good. And for me, I would arguably say it is a lot better than the air shock. But the one thing that we haven't gone over, which I think is the most important thing for me, someone that likes to bling their bike out, the shock looks absolutely incredible. It makes the bike look like a completely different machine. Like it could eat up any trail that you throw against it. Another thing I like, if you're doing a prolonged period of downhill riding on an air shock, sometimes you'll notice that the air shock feels a little bit different to when you first started. That's not the case with the coil. From the moment you set off to the time you finish the trail, the coil shock will be exactly the same for the entirety of your ride. Thanks for watching, guys. It's time to get home, have a shower, get dressed, get ourselves to a fantastic pub that serves the best cobs in the world. If you like the video, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.